Number 1. In this eerie clip, we follow a pair of investigators venturing into a supposedly abandoned house in Japan. The investigators move cautiously through the dimly lit rooms, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, revealing dusty furniture left behind. It all feels eerily normal at first, until something unexpected occurs, grabbing their full attention. It happens as they explore further. The investigators notice something strange. Despite the house being abandoned, the electricity is still running. The female investigator fiddled with one of the old bulbs and flicked it on, confirming their initial suspicions. They exchange uneasy glances, now more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind this mysterious place. The male investigator then stumbles upon a loose floorboard, slightly ajar, that seems to lead to a crawl space under the house. With growing apprehension, he carefully lifts the board and shines the flashlight into the darkness below. What he sees next sends chills down his spine. A pale figure, almost ghostly, emerges from the shadows, dressed in a flowing white robe. The figure is motionless but intense, staring down at the investigator with a menacing glare that seems to bore into his very soul. The air grows thick with dread, as if the figure might spring forward at any moment. This unsettling encounter leaves both the investigators and viewers on edge, questioning what other horrors might be lurking within this haunted house. Number 2. This clip was captured in a place that looks like an office building. At the beginning of the clip, a figure worked inside the elevator. Its body, from the chest upward, has been cropped by the camera frame, so anyone could have thought it was just a normal person working in the building and using the elevator. But it later turned out that this wasn't a person. Almost immediately, it entered the elevator cage. 2 other people walk into the same elevator, and when the camera switched to the elevator camera, the first person that entered the elevator was nowhere to be found. Only 2 co-workers entered the elevator later. They seemed not to be aware of anything, as they were busy conversing, and they exit when they get to their destination floor, still unaware of anything. However, something strange occurred when they exited the lift. A figure materialized where one of the co-workers was standing. It's impossible for 2 different people to occupy the same space at the same time. Well, unless one of them is a ghost. Number 3. Since we are still discussing elevators and ghosts, this next clip follows a group of 4 friends enjoying a meal at a ramen shop. After finishing their meal, they decide to head back to their apartment to continue their fun. The night seems ordinary until they step into the elevator, where their carefree evening takes a dark turn. As the elevator ascends, the friends are suddenly startled by the sight of a mysterious girl standing in front of one of the floor's doors. Her presence is brief but eerie, sending a chill through the group. Determined to get another look, they decide to stay on the elevator and see if they can spot her again. But when they pass by the same floor, the girl is gone, vanished without a trace. At this point, the clip seems like the typical ghost sighting video, leaving you to wonder if anything else will happen. But the real shock comes later, as the friends make their way back to their floor. Just as the man in the white vest steps out, a strange figure of a woman appears right behind him. The cameraman, capturing the haunting image on film, drops to the floor, overwhelmed with fear. The most unsettling part, when you compare the 2 figures side by side, they are identical. Moreover, just moments before the elevator ascended, there was no one standing behind the man in the white vest. Number 4. In this clip, a couple was heading out for a night on the town when something incredibly strange happened. The video begins inside their car with everyone in high spirits, laughing and chatting, completely unaware of a strange figure in the middle of the road. But the driver doesn't notice the figure in time and continues driving forward, believing that the road ahead is clear. The car hits the figure and the couple quickly stops, shocked and confused by what just happened. They hurriedly exit the vehicle, anxious to see what they've hit. But as they come around the side of the car, they're met with a sight that's beyond comprehension. Beneath the car, something is hiding. The camera catches a glimpse of what appears to be a human-like face peering up at them from under the vehicle. Its expression is disturbingly calm, as if it had been expecting this all along. But here's the truly chilling part. How did the figure end up under the car, especially after being hit? Was it ever really a person, or was it something else entirely? Or can we just call it what it is, a ghost? Number 5. This next clip lacks a lot of background details, but what unfolds is nothing short of chilling. It all begins with the sudden sound of a dish shattering in the kitchen of a couple's home. Startled by the noise, the man goes to investigate, while the woman grabs her camera, determined to capture whatever might be causing the disturbance. As the man searches the kitchen, another object unexpectedly topples over, adding to the tension. This prompts the woman to venture into the other rooms, hoping to catch something on film. She moves cautiously through the house, the camera recording every creak and shadow. But after a while, nothing else seems to happen, and the couple starts to relax, thinking it might have just been a fluke. But then, out of nowhere, something truly unsettling occurs. At the top of the stairwell, a figure suddenly appears, standing motionless and staring down at the couple. The figure's presence is so unnerving that they decide to leave the house immediately, and honestly, who can blame them? But here's where it gets even creepier. When the woman first started checking out the rooms, did you notice it too? It might be my imagination, but I could swear I could see a faint image of a little girl, an apparition peeking into the house from an adjoining building. It's the kind of subtle horror that lingers in your mind long after the video ends. Number 6. In this clip, a woman is seen setting up a camera by her bedside, perhaps anticipating something strange. After adjusting the camera, she lies down and drifts off to sleep. For the first few hours, everything appears normal, just an ordinary night. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, the woman sits up in bed, her movements unnaturally stiff, as if she's no longer in control of her own body. It's as though she's been possessed. Without any sign of consciousness, she begins to crawl out of bed, her body moving with a strange, eerie fluidity. She makes her way to the center of the room, where she stops and kneels, utterly still, as if awaiting something. And that's when the real terror ends. In the far corner of her room, a shadow starts to materialize, growing darker and more defined with each passing moment. Yet, the woman remains motionless, oblivious, or perhaps indifferent to the paranormal activity unfolding right in front of her. The shadow looms ominously, but she doesn't flinch or react, as if she's already under its control. Could this be the work of a ghostly spirit, a dark force that has taken control of her? Number 7. In this clip, a mother and her young daughter are enjoying a playful afternoon in the courtyard, tossing a soccer ball back and forth. The scene is innocent and joyful, filled with the simple happiness of a mother-daughter bond. But as the ball slips from the little girl's grasp and rolls away, the girl chases after the ball, retrieving it from a distance. But instead of returning immediately to her mother, she suddenly stops and begins interacting with someone or something unseen. The camera, now focused on the girl, reveals her talking and gesturing towards an empty space. She even points directly at where this mysterious figure should be, but there's nothing there. The unsettling part is how she naturally seems to be engaging with this invisible presence. Her mother, puzzled, begins to question her, trying to understand who she's talking to. At that point, she begins to yell at her, but before she can get an answer, the girl abruptly points to a spot right beside her mother. The mother instinctively turns the camera in that direction, and that's when the chilling truth is revealed. A ghostly figure of a child appears, standing eerily close to the mother. It becomes clear that this little girl wasn't imagining things. She was truly interacting with something otherworldly. Number 8. In some paranormal theories and fictional stories, it's often speculated that ghost sightings could be connected to specific types of electromagnetic radiation or energy field. This idea has intrigued both skeptics and believers alike. For instance, many ghost hunters rely on devices like electromagnetic field (EMF) meters to detect fluctuations in electromagnetic field. They sometimes interpret these fluctuations as potential signs of paranormal activity, believing that ghosts might manipulate these energy fields to manifest themselves. This brings us to the next clip, where a ghostly figure was reportedly seen roaming the tunnels of a plant in Japan, an area known for its high radiation. What makes this sighting particularly intriguing is the context. The ghost appeared during a radiation testing. Could it be that the heightened levels of electromagnetic radiation in the tunnels played a role in making the ghost more visible, more defined? The figure seems too defined, even though the clip was captured during the daytime, as it drifts through one of the tunnel exits with eerie clarity, almost as if the very energy in the air was helping it to materialize. Number 9. Sometimes, the most unsettling events happen right before our eyes, and yet they're so subtle that we don't even notice. This clip is the perfect example of how easily we can overlook something truly bizarre. It begins with a man pacing around a laundry room, engrossed in a conversation on his phone. Everything seems ordinary, but there's something unusual that later happened just beside him. In the same laundry room, a woman is quietly sitting in a chair, seemingly minding her own business. She's there one moment, completely unnoticed by the man, and then, just like that, she's disappeared when the man on the phone walked past her while pacing. It's as if she vanishes into thin air, disappearing in the blink of an eye. The man continues talking on his phone, completely unaware of what just happened. He doesn't react, doesn't even glance in her direction, as if nothing at all has changed. But for those of us watching the clip, the woman's sudden disappearance is anything but normal. Number 10. This clip captures what starts as a joyous moment, a girl celebrating her birthday with a few close friends. The scene is warm and cheerful as they are laughing while baking her a cake in the kitchen. Everything seems like a typical, carefree birthday celebration. As her friends bring the cake to her, they switch off the electric bulb, leaving only the soft glow of the candles to light the room. The girl leans forward, ready to make her wish and blow out the candles, a moment of pure happiness that only happens to a person once a year. But just as she was blowing out the last candle, something strange happens. For a split second, the camera captures a mysterious, ghostly face appearing right behind her. It's faint but unmistakable, with haunting features that seem to hover just over her shoulder. The friends remain oblivious, caught up in the celebration, unaware of the chilling presence captured on film. But for those watching the clip, the ghostly face is impossible to ignore. Can you imagine how she would freak out when she later reviews the clip? Would she want to blow out her birthday candle in the darkness ever again?